Hey there, YouTube fam. Welcome back to our channel. I'm thrilled to have you here today for another exciting video packed with knowledge. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the fun and informative content we have in store for you. The Lexus RX was the first one in and the last one out. It was the first hybrid luxury SUV in 2005, and 17 years later, it's the last vehicle in its class to offer a hybrid option. Competitors have come and gone over the years, with many evolving into plug-in hybrids or fully electric vehicles. During that time, the RX has remained true to its mission of delivering efficient luxury and largely avoided other manufacturers' performance wars. For 2023, the Lexus RX lineup gets a full redesign, and this new fifth-generation model sees big changes while maintaining its core personality. There's something admirable about being self-aware enough to know where your strengths lie and capitalizing on them. But at the same time, it tends to narrow overall appeal. Nowadays, good enough isn't good enough. We've been conditioned to expect that luxury vehicles can't just be comfortable. They have to wow you with Nürburgring tuned handling and hit 60 miles per hour faster than dot-com-era supercars. Lexus recognizes that not all drivers want or need gobs of power and acceleration that pins you to the seat. Some people just want to cruise in quiet contentment. While that kind of honest assessment is appreciated, one contend that perhaps performance has been pushed too far back on the priorities list. A bronze medal is still good, right? The new 2023 RX lineup is made up of the base RX 350, the RX 350 hours hybrid, and the more powerful RX 500 hours hybrid. Lexus also plans to sell the RX 450 hours plus plug-in hybrid in the US, but exactly when that will happen isn't clear yet. The RX 350 is now powered by a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine instead of last year's 5.6. It makes 275 horsepower, 20 hub less than its predecessor. But its 317 pound-feet of torque is a 50 pound-feet gain. That's not enough to noticeably improve acceleration though, as Lexus estimates it will take 7.2 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour with the all-wheel drive model. The front-drive version needs 7.5 seconds. These times are adequate, but far from impressive. The RX 350 hours hybrid loses the turbocharger and adds a hybrid powertrain and a supplemental electric motor to power the rear axle for all-wheel drive. Combined, they produce 246 hep and 233 pound-feet of torque, and Lexus claims it'll accelerate to 60 miles per hour in 7.4 seconds. You'd think that would also be as adequate as the non-hybrid RX 350, but it's not. On most highway on-ramps, you'll have to pin the pedal to the floor to confidently merge into the flow of traffic. Meanwhile, the engine moves like a recalcitrant cow as the continuously variable transmission, CVT, keeps the revs annoyingly high. New to the lineup is the RX 500 hours, a more powerful variant that puts the turbo back on to increase output to 366 hep and 406 pound-feet, enough to propel it to 60 miles per hour in 5.9 seconds. That's much more closer to the rest of the class and marginally faster than the Genesis GV AB 2.5T or Mercedes-Benz GLE 350. But those are the base models of those vehicles. Each offers options with much more power, as does the Acura MDX Type S. The RX 500 hours rear electric motor is also different to the one in the RX 350 hours and allows up to 80% of power to be biased back there, where the 350 hours can only administer up to a 50/50 split between front and rear axles. Again, the RX isn't about performance, and not every vehicle has to be fast. But when everyone else is, you feel slow. When it comes to handling, one typically refers to an imaginary sliding scale with comfort on one end and performance on the other. The RX's soft suspension tuning has it solidly on the comfort side of the spectrum. Potholes and bumps in the road are mostly shrugged off with barely any recognition. You'll hear a muted thud, but generally won't feel much of an impact. And that's one of the RX's greatest strengths. That softness does little for cornering confidence though. Body roll is noticeable but not alarming. It certainly doesn't encourage sporty driving in the way a BMW X5 does, and feels heavy and ponderous by comparison. On offset undulations, you'll also feel some residual bouncing, but not enough to feel queasy. Softness also carries over to the brakes, which have a spongy pedal with lots of travel. As the only traditional hybrid in the class, fuel economy is an important factor. The front-wheel drive RX 350 is estimated to return 25 mph in combined city and highway driving and 24 mph with all-wheel drive. That's an improvement of 1 mph over last year's 5.6. The RX 350 hours hybrid sees more significant gains and is estimated at 36 mph combined, an improvement of 6 mph from its predecessor and likely the most fuel-efficient mid-size SUV on the market for 2023. Not all the data is in yet. The RX 500 hours is rated at a very respectable 27 mph combined. By comparison, the entry-level BMW X541 is estimated at 23 mph. Stepping up to the X5 M51 reduces fuel economy to 18 mph. BMW does offer a plug-in hybrid, however, and it should deliver 31 miles of EV range and 20 mph under hybrid propulsion. The Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 and 450 are estimated at 22 mph combined. The Acura MDX comes close at 22 mph and 21 mph for front and all-wheel drive, respectively. The new RX interior also gets a full makeover with some notable improvements. The dash now features a large 9.8-inch standard touchscreen or a 14-inch upgrade. Thankfully, Lexus finally abandoned the previous generation's trackpad controller, which one considered the worst infotainment interface in the industry. Most of the display is within reach of the driver, and the large on-screen buttons are easy to tap when driving. Lexus also points out that voice controls are improved, but these early pre-production vehicles had a tough time understanding my voice commands and responses were very slow. Materials and build quality meet luxury SUV expectations, with a few exceptions. The dashboard is attractive and feels sturdy, but the center console can be a source of disappointment. The light-colored simulated wood grain isn't very convincing and reminds me of the plastic wood used on early 80s era TVs and VCRs. The darker trim choices are much more believable. Further back is a double-hinged armrest lid, which can be accessed by the driver or front passenger with equal ease. The problem is that the hinge mechanism isn't made to tight tolerances and wobbles around. On the plus side, the RX's front seats are well-shaped for comfort. That's good, because there don't seem to be any available massage functions. The rear seats are notable for the amount of thigh support they provide. The seat cushions are taller to more evenly distribute passenger weight, and there is also plenty of foot and legroom. That elevated cushion limits headroom a bit, but occupants under 6 feet tall should have plenty of space. Behind those 60/40ths split-folding seats is 29.6 cubic feet of cargo space, a huge improvement over last generation's 16 cubes and only a little less than the BMW X5 or Mercedes GLE, but off the pace compared to most others. The Acura MDX only has 18.1 cubic feet with all the seats in place, but it has 3 rows. With third row down, it offers 39.1 cubic feet and opens up to 95 overall, more than double the RX's 46.2 cubic foot maximum. The RX liftover height is rather tall too, requiring more effort to load heavier and bulkier objects. Lastly, a huge shout out to all our amazing viewers and subscribers. Your support means the world to us, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care, stay curious, and keep being awesome.